Welcome back, my friends. It's great to see you. How are all of you doing out there today? I'm starting a big project with buildings for a small town that I'm creating. Now I need to get the colors. The first thing I need to do is just click on my circle. Then I click on my eyedropper tool and I click the building that I want to get my colors from. So there you can see a nice color there, but I want it to be a little lighter. Now there's another way I can do that. I can just click on the fill over here and it will allow me to make adjustments. So if I want to be really light, I just click along here and you can see it makes changes to it, but I'll just leave it where it is. I'm sure I can get it just by clicking on the building. Control Z to move everything back to where it was and just click off it. Or if I want, I can just re-click the eyedropper tool and click on here. So there's our nice light color there. Now I want a darker one. Again, I can go up here, grab my eyedropper tool and find a nice dark spot, and you can see what I've done here. Now it takes on average about maybe 30 minutes to make a color palette, but it makes it a lot more easier to color things when you're working in a project. Anyway, I thought I'd share this with you. That I probably have about maybe 20 minutes to make this color palette, and then I'm going to move on to making buildings. I've started designing buildings for my project. You can see the roof here. Here's the overall front of the building. Now I need to decide if I want it to be customizable. I most likely will. Let's get to work on making windows. Grab my rectangle tool here. Hold down shift if I want a square. If I want a rectangle like here, just drag it out. Now I want to make a copy of it. Control C and then press V and it makes a copy. I want to make it a little smaller here. Hold down shift and see what it looks like. And you can see it doesn't look that good, so I need to widen it a little bit here. Make it a little more realistic. There we have our window frame. Select both of them. Hold down shift and then hold down alt, and that changes it to a minus side, and I drag it across. And then we have a basic border. Now if I select this again and I add a fill to it, you can see here it's just the border. Now I just Control Z here because I want to color that when it's inside Photoshop. Now I have a few options here. I can do a lot of changes to this. Control C, Control V. Just move it like this. And this is just a plain window, and you can see you can move it here. You can do lots of different things with it, but I'm going to make it customizable. Okay, I want to make this look a little better. I'm going to divide it into 4 sections. The way I do that is just grab my rectangle tool again, make it a little thin here, like this. Make sure it just fits over. Right here in the center. Just move it up a little bit. If you need to do detailed work, you need to zoom in on it, and there we go. So let's have a look at this, see what it looks like. And it's not in the center, and it tells you right there it's perfect. And I need to make this a little smaller, so again I just go here and move it in, scale it, and there's our window. Now if I wanted this to be bars, I could do that. There's an easy way of putting bars on things. You just move one here, Control C, Control V. I'm going to show you a little trick that I use to make things evenly spaced. Okay. Hold down shift, select this, go to object, and then blend options. And you don't want to smooth the color, you want specific steps. 8 is too many, I think maybe 6 is okay. Then hold down Control, Alt, and D, and it blends it for you, and there you have bars on your windows. There's lots of different ways you can do things here, so that's another one. I'll just make a copy of it quickly here. Everything that you make, you should make copies of it. Now I can leave the frame at the back, or I can move it to the front like this. I go to Object, Arrange, Bring to Front. Depends how you like it. This looks a bit better. I like it the way it is like this. And I'm going to make another copy of this one. Control C, V. And just move it out. Control G to group it, and then it moves all together. It doesn't separate. You can see here, I just move it up here. It looks really good so far. Now I'm just going to redo that again. I want to do another change to this window. Control plus on my keyboard and quickly grab my rectangle tool up here. And I just want it to be like a thin little bar or metal, whatever. Anyway, there we go. It's centered. Now if I want it to be in 4 different areas, I just go like this. I just press R on my keyboard, I rotate it. And just hold down shift at the same time. I rotate it like this. I'm going to make a copy of it too once I finish this. So I just quickly move it out here. Control Z. Just a little bit too far, and that looks better. I do the same on the other side here as well. Make another copy. Control C, Control V. Press R, hold down shift. Hold down shift and just drag it where I want it to be. In the center here. Now you can see that's too much again. I can just make changes. Things are very easy to do inside Illustrator. It looks good. There's our metal frame there, or it could be wooden, whatever I want it to be, depends on the color. Press shift and then M, and now I'm going to join all these together, and just you can see just very easy to do it. It's joining everything together, and make sure I get all of it, and now it's all just one piece. And there you go. Now you can see here I can change this to any color I want. If I want it to be brown, I could do that. Okay, so we'll just stop here for a second, grab our selection tool, click on this, and we'll make it brown. Now if I didn't like that brown, and one thing I do like to do is get rid of the stroke, and that's gone. There we go. One thing I can do if I want to change the color is just click on it over here and just make how I want to change it. You can see here you can really design some really good colors here. You can make it darker, you can make it lighter, you can do whatever you like with it. But overall I just want it to be just plain, so I'm just going to change it back to white with no fill. There you go, it looks awesome, and I'm going to bring back the strokes so that I can see it. Okay, looks good so far. I'm going to bring this over here and just leave it there. Maybe I'll just bring the fill back just for the fun of it. Okay, I want to make a ledge. Very easy to do that. All you do is you make a rectangle here, like this. And I'm going to grab my pen tool. Now I didn't like that, Control Z, so I'm going to lock it down so I don't make any changes to it. Control 2 on my keyboard, and again grab my pen tool and we'll make a little ledge for the window. Now this will look a lot better after I've added color to it. Hold down shift to make sure the line goes straight. Now if I want to make that exactly same the other side, I just press O, I hold down Alt, I click on the anchor point and copy, and things look marvelous. Perfect. I want to make sure that's all joined together, so just select all of it, Control and press J at the same time, and you can see all the objects all joined together. Anyway, I have a lot of work to do on this, so I'm going to move it over to Photoshop and show you how I color it. Let's continue on with making our prop here. I need to grab my magic wand tool and select the area that I'm going to be painting. Press B on my keyboard and we'll go over to our color palette here that I made. And I guess I want it to be this color. I hold down Alt and press it, and there we go. We have our color. Now you want to make sure these are 100%. So we have the brush 100% opacity, 100% flow, and it's big enough to color it. And let's just have a look, see what this looks like. Looks good so far. I'm going to make my brush a little bit bigger using the bracket key. And there we go, nice and big. grab my magic wand tool again, and I want to do this one here, and I want to make this just a light gray, and press B on my keyboard. Now if I want to make an airbrush with this, I just lower the flow and opacity to about 50%. Doesn't need to be right on 50, but it's got to be close, within 5 percentage points, I think. I'm going to click down and go a little bit lower here. Make my brush a little smaller. Control plus on my keyboard. Control minus just to zoom it out a little bit. And then I go along here and you can see that it's adding a little bit of darkness there. Because it's further away from the light, it needs to be a little darker. And that looks really good. Control minus on my keyboard again. Move everything back up to 100%. Going to move this up a little bit. Grab my magic wand tool. Click on the space I want to select. Press B on my keyboard. Use my bracket keys, make it a little bigger. And that looks awesome. Now if I want to make this transparent, I need to take a further step. Control D for deselect. And I want to select these ones here, magic wand tool. Click it, hold down shift, and click on all 4 parts. Make another layer. Press B on my keyboard. I'm going to select just a little bit off-white, and then I'm going to make the opacity about 30 or 20%. I think I'll stick to maybe around 25. And because it's transparent, I'll be able to add a background to it. Now I'll make my bracket keys nice and big, and just select everything at the same time, and there's our transparent window. Now I need to save this. I'm going to make this a little small again, use my bracket keys, and I'm going to go up here and I'm going to go to File, I'm going to go to Save As. I want to keep this private on my computer. I never upload anything to Adobe. You don't know if they're snooping through your files or whatever, because you can't be watching them all the time. And then I'm going to go to PNG and I'm going to save it on my desktop. Anyway, this was the workflow to create a prop. Hopefully you enjoyed and learned something from this. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe to our community, and I'll try and get more videos up later. Thanks for watching. Remember to take care of yourself and your family.